Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how something as simple as sugar, sodium, or even processed foods can quietly sabotage your leg strength without you even realizing it? Make no mistake, what you put into your body every day can directly impact your mobility and independence. It's easy to overlook these hidden culprits, but the truth is, these seemingly harmless foods can be the very things standing in the way of your freedom to move comfortably. Stick with me, and let's uncover how making a few mindful changes to your diet can help you reclaim the strength you thought you lost forever. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now let's begin. Processed foods and trans fats, these hidden enemies of your leg strength, quietly chipping away at your vitality. Have you ever stopped to think about the last time you could stand up without reaching for something to support you? Or climbed a flight of stairs without feeling the need to stop, take a breath, and rest? When simple tasks that once felt effortless start becoming overwhelming, it's not just a sign of aging. The real culprit might be something much more sneaky: the food you're eating. Take Frank Miller, for instance. Frank was the picture of health in his retirement community in Denver. At 73, he was the life of the party, organizing weekend hikes for friends and keeping up with his 4 lively grandchildren every Sunday. He was the guy who could walk miles without breaking a sweat, always at the forefront of any physical challenge. But over the past year, everything changed. Frank, once so full of energy, now found himself needing a break after a simple trip to his mailbox. His legs, once strong and reliable, felt as if they were betraying him. "I thought it was just age catching up with me," Frank confided, his eyes filled with a mix of concern and confusion. "I had the doctor check everything: heart, lungs, knees. They all looked normal for my age," he recalled. But deep down, something didn't sit right with him. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story. And there was. It wasn't Frank's age that was weakening his legs. It was what was on his dinner plate. After his wife passed away, Frank had leaned heavily on the convenience of frozen meals, fast food with his senior bowling league buddies, and the packaged snacks that filled his pantry. It all seemed harmless enough. After all, he was just trying to make life a little easier. But these seemingly innocent foods were wreaking havoc on his body, slowly stealing away his strength. Processed foods, as it turns out, have a nasty habit of triggering a cascade of inflammation throughout the body, a condition known as chronic low-grade inflammation. This inflammation quietly and steadily restricts the flow of oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. Think of your blood vessels as highways, each one carefully delivering the nutrients your muscles need to function. When these highways become congested with inflammation, everything slows down and your legs start feeling heavier and weaker. Dr. Sarah Jenkins, a geriatric specialist at Mayo Clinic, explains that many seniors unknowingly consume trans fats, which can reduce the body's ability to build and repair muscle by a staggering 50%. This means that the very muscles needed to keep you strong and mobile begin to waste away at a much faster rate. It's not just your muscles that are under attack either. The preservatives and artificial ingredients commonly found in processed foods interfere with calcium absorption, which weakens your bones and sets the stage for even more mobility issues. The impact is compounded when processed foods lead to weight gain, all while simultaneously eroding muscle mass. It's a vicious cycle, with the excess weight placing even more stress on already fragile legs. The frozen dinners Frank had become so accustomed to, they can pack up to 1,500 mg of sodium and several grams of trans fats, a perfect storm for inflammation and fluid retention in your legs. That's not even counting the deli meats loaded with preservatives like nitrates, which cause inflammation in your blood vessels, further restricting blood flow to your muscles. And let's not forget fast food, which is a triple threat. It combines trans fats, excessive sodium, and refined carbohydrates in a single meal. Research from Tufts University has shown that seniors who consumed fast food twice a week experienced up to 30% more leg weakness than those who avoided it. That's a statistic that can't be ignored. But it doesn't stop there. Breakfast, that supposedly healthiest meal of the day, isn't always as innocent as it seems. Packaged muffins, instant oatmeal packets, and so-called heart-healthy cereals often hide sugars and preservatives that contribute to inflammation right from the start. Even something as simple as your morning toast with margarine delivers trans fats directly into your bloodstream, setting off the inflammatory process before your day even begins. The good news is that Frank didn't have to accept this decline as his new reality. With a few simple changes, he was able to reclaim his leg strength and restore a sense of vitality to his life. Instead of continuing to rely on frozen meals, Frank now spends Sunday afternoons batch cooking fresh, wholesome meals. He prepares easy-to-make proteins like baked chicken breasts and fish fillets, alongside roasted vegetables and sweet potatoes, portioning them into containers for the week ahead. For quick protein options without preservatives, he now opts for hard-boiled eggs, canned wild salmon, and rotisserie chicken. Simple, nutritious choices that don't come with a side of chemicals. Frank also swapped out the processed deli meats for actual roasted turkey or chicken breast, and he replaced vegetable oils with heart-healthy alternatives like olive oil and avocado oil. These small, thoughtful changes have made a world of difference. Snacking is no longer a source of regret, but a chance to nourish his body. Fresh fruits, raw nuts, plain yogurt with berries, and celery with almond butter have replaced the processed junk he once reached for. And when it comes to flavoring his meals, Frank discovered the magic of herbs and spices like garlic, rosemary, basil, and cinnamon, which add depth and richness to his food without any unnecessary chemicals or sodium. It's incredible how much of a difference these adjustments can make in such a short period. Frank's experience is a powerful reminder that it's not just age that causes our bodies to weaken, it's the choices we make every day. Our legs, the very things that carry us through life, deserve better than the processed foods that undermine them. With a little effort, a little awareness, and a whole lot of love for ourselves, we can stand tall once more. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. Our bodies are worthy of the best care we can give them, and it's never too late to make the changes that will bring us back to life. Within just 3 weeks of cutting back on processed foods, Frank started to feel a significant difference. His legs felt lighter, the heaviness that once weighed him down began to lift, and for the first time in months, he could walk around his block without needing to rest. By the 2-month mark, Frank was walking with ease, his legs no longer betraying him with every step. Dr. Elizabeth Monroe, a geriatric nutrition specialist at Johns Hopkins, confirms what Frank experienced. When seniors eliminate processed foods and trans fats from their diets, many report noticeable improvements in their mobility in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. The body is an incredible thing, capable of healing itself when we remove the triggers that cause inflammation. It's astounding how quickly our bodies respond when we make the right choices. Frank's journey back to strength is a testament to that. In just a matter of weeks, his legs regained their vitality, and with that came a sense of freedom he hadn't felt in a long time. I can't help but feel that this story isn't just about Frank. It's about all of us. How many of us are unknowingly sabotaging our health with the foods we eat every day? What small step could you take today to change that? Maybe it's as simple as swapping one processed meal for a fresh, homemade alternative, or replacing just one sugary snack with something that nourishes your body. You don't need to take giant leaps. Sometimes the smallest steps can lead to the most transformative changes. Your journey to stronger legs might be just one meal away. Now, let's talk about refined sugar, that sweet saboteur of leg strength. It's that harmless spoonful in your morning coffee, the cookie you indulge in during lunch, or the dessert you savor after dinner. For Martha Williams, a 68-year-old woman living in sun-drenched Florida, these little pleasures were a daily routine. She'd always had a sweet tooth, a habit she enjoyed without giving it a second thought. But one day, Martha began to notice that her legs weren't quite cooperating the way they used to. She found herself struggling with balance, her legs feeling weak and achy. It was only then that she realized something had to change. I've always had a sweet tooth, Martha confessed, sitting in her cozy, sunlit kitchen. A spoonful of sugar in my morning coffee, a cookie or two with lunch, and usually some ice cream while watching my evening shows. I never connected these treats to why I was having trouble with my balance or why my legs felt so weak and achy. Martha's story is not unique, Many seniors unknowingly consume sugary treats, unaware of the slow but steady damage they are doing to their legs with every bite. For Martha, it wasn't until her doctor suggested cutting back on sugar that she even considered that her sweet indulgences could be the root of her problems. Initially skeptical, she was willing to try anything that could help her maintain her independence. So what makes sugar so damaging to leg strength? The issue lies in how sugar systematically undermines your entire musculoskeletal system. Refined sugar causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar levels, prompting your body to release a flood of insulin to manage the excess sugar. Over time, constant blood sugar spikes lead to insulin resistance, a condition where your body stops responding effectively to insulin. This process is more than just a blood sugar issue. Dr. Robert Shen, an endocrinologist at Cleveland Clinic, explains that insulin resistance directly interferes with the body's ability to deliver nutrients to your muscles. Without the proper fuel, your muscles begin to lose their strength, especially in the legs, where we need them the most for mobility. But the damage doesn't end there. Sugar's inflammatory effects wreak havoc throughout your body. Chronic inflammation damages muscle tissue and slows down the natural repair processes that are essential for maintaining muscle strength. For seniors already dealing with age muscle loss, this sugar-fueled inflammation accelerates the weakening of muscles, particularly in the legs, which carry the weight of your entire body. Sugar's impact goes beyond your muscles. It also harms your bones, which are the foundation of leg strength. Research from Tufts University reveals that high sugar consumption increases calcium excretion in urine. In other words, sugar is causing your body to flush away the very mineral your bones need to stay strong. This silent calcium drain weakens the structure that your muscles depend on, making it even harder for your legs to stay strong and supported. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. I had no idea that my sweet tea habit could be related to my leg pain, Martha shared, reflecting on her own eye-opening experience. My doctor explained that when my blood sugar spikes, it causes microinflammation in my joints and muscles. Over time, this was making my legs stiff and weak. That realization was a turning point for Martha. What once seemed like harmless indulgence had been quietly sabotaging her mobility inch by inch. Martha's story isn't just about sugar, it's about awareness and action. It's about recognizing the hidden ways in which our habits affect our health and taking charge of our well-being before it's too late. Each choice, no matter how small, has the power to either nourish or undermine our bodies. And just like Frank's transformation, Martha's journey to stronger, healthier legs is well within reach. It all starts with making that one decision to choose what's best for your body, your legs, and your future. The most insidious aspect of sugar is how it lurks in foods we often believe to be healthy. That so-called healthy breakfast cereal, which you probably thought was a great choice to kickstart your day, can contain up to 4 teaspoons of added sugar per serving. And then there's the fruit-flavored yogurt that promises to boost your bone health. It might contain more sugar than a candy bar. Even your whole grain bread, the one you thought was a wholesome choice, is often sweetened with added sugars. And those flavored coffee drinks you love? They can be the worst culprits, packing up to 11 teaspoons of sugar in a single drink, which is more than the entire recommended daily limit for adults. It's startling how sugar is hidden in so many places, quietly undermining our health without us even realizing it. Sports drinks, marketed as health boosters, are no better. Many contain 5 to 8 teaspoons of sugar per bottle, all disguised under the guise of athletic performance. And let's not forget about savory foods, which may seem like they're safe from the sugar assault. Pasta sauces, salad dressings, and ketchup often contain hidden sugars that contribute to your daily total without you even noticing. Worse still, there are the sugar-free products that many of us turn to in hopes of reducing sugar intake. However, research suggests that artificial sweeteners in these products can still trigger insulin responses and inflammation, possibly causing the same leg-weakening effects as regular sugar. It's a tricky trap to fall into, but one that many people don't see coming. Martha Williams had her shocking wake-up call. Reading labels became my new habit, she explained. I was shocked to find sugar in my pasta sauce, in my healthy granola bars, and even in the canned soup I liked. No wonder my legs were suffering. It was an eye-opening experience for her, as it is for many others who take the time to read labels and realize just how much hidden sugar they are consuming. It's not just the obvious sugary foods that add up, it's the sneaky sugars that slip into everyday items. The good news? Reducing sugar can lead to surprisingly quick improvements in leg strength. Just 2 weeks after cutting back on obvious sugars, Martha noticed her legs feeling less stiff in the morning. A month later, the ache that had plagued her knees for months started to subside. By the 3-month mark, she could walk up her driveway without needing to stop and rest, something she hadn't been able to do for nearly a year. It's incredible how quickly the body responds to positive changes. Martha's experience shows us that reducing sugar doesn't just help us lose weight. It can directly improve our mobility and restore our strength. How can you reduce sugar without feeling deprived? Start by tackling the obvious sources first. Replace soda and sweet tea with flavored water or unsweetened tea with a splash of lemon. Instead of reaching for a commercial salad dressing packed with sugar, try a simple homemade olive oil and vinegar dressing with fresh herbs. For breakfast, ditch the sugary cereals and instead choose plain oatmeal, adding natural sweetness with fresh berries or a small banana. Plain Greek yogurt with fresh fruit can also give you a boost of protein without the added sugar load of flavored varieties. It's all about making smarter choices without sacrificing flavor. When baking at home, try reducing the sugar in your recipes by about 1/3. You might be surprised at how little difference it makes in taste. And, as Martha discovered, spices like cinnamon, vanilla, and nutmeg can enhance sweetness perception without adding a single grain of sugar. If you need a small sweet treat, keep dark chocolate, 70% cocoa or higher, on hand. It contains far less sugar than milk chocolate and offers antioxidants that support healthy circulation, a win for your legs. Martha also found a helpful trick to curb her sugar cravings. I started having a small protein snack when sugar cravings hit, like a few almonds or a piece of cheese. After about 2 weeks, my cravings actually decreased, and I didn't miss the sweet stuff as much, she shared. This simple tactic helped her transition to a healthier way of eating, and over time, she no longer felt the need for the constant sugar fix. Quite strong. Dr. Lisa Fernandez, geriatric specialist at Harvard Medical School, emphasizes, when seniors reduce their sugar intake, we often see improvements in leg strength within 3 to 4 weeks. The inflammatory response begins to normalize quite quickly, allowing better circulation and nutrient delivery to leg muscles. Martha's journey back to stronger legs began with a simple yet powerful choice: to reconsider her relationship with sugar. Your mobility, your independence, it could all depend on making that same choice today. Now, let's talk about another culprit: salt. If you've noticed your shoes feeling tighter at the end of the day, or if your ankles and calves sometimes appear puffier than usual, you might be falling into the salt trap. For Robert Jenkins, a 77-year-old retired accountant from Chicago, these were the first subtle signs that something was off with his health. I never thought salt could be the reason my legs felt so heavy and weak, Robert shared, sitting in his neat kitchen. I wasn't adding much salt to my food at the table, so I figured my sodium intake was fine. What Robert didn't realize was how much hidden salt was in almost everything he ate. His typical day included a bowl of canned soup for lunch, which alone contained nearly 1,000 milligrams of sodium, followed by a frozen dinner with another 1,200 milligrams, and snacks like crackers and cheese throughout the day. Without even knowing it, Robert was consuming nearly triple the recommended sodium limit for seniors. This hidden salt intake was wreaking havoc on his body, especially his legs. Excess sodium is particularly damaging to leg strength. When you consume too much salt, your body retains excess water to dilute it. This fluid often collects in your lower extremities, causing swelling in your feet, ankles, and calves. Dr. Michael Harrison, a cardiovascular specialist at the American Heart Association, explains, this fluid retention doesn't just make your legs feel heavy, it reduces proper blood circulation and oxygen delivery to your muscles. When blood flow is restricted, your muscles suffer, and over time this can lead to weakness, stiffness, and even pain in your legs. When your leg muscles aren't receiving the proper amount of oxygen and nutrients, they quite literally cannot generate the strength and endurance needed to keep you moving freely. The effects extend far beyond just fluid retention. It's a deeper, more insidious problem. High sodium intake can raise your blood pressure, putting unnecessary strain on your heart, which must work harder to pump blood throughout your body. This increased pressure doesn't just tire out your heart, it damages the small blood vessels responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to your leg muscles. Over time, this ongoing damage builds up, leaving you with weaker muscles that fatigue much more quickly than they should. Sodium also disrupts the delicate mineral balance that is crucial for proper muscle function. It causes your body to excrete calcium through your urine at an elevated rate. Calcium isn't just important for your bones, it plays a critical role in how your muscles contract and relax. Without enough calcium, your muscles can become cramped, weak, and uncoordinated. Robert Jenkins, a 77-year-old retired accountant from Chicago, had no idea how his daily habits were affecting his legs until he learned more from his doctor. The connection between my canned soup habit and my difficulty climbing stairs wasn't obvious to me, Robert admitted. But once my doctor explained how sodium was essentially waterlogging my muscles and disrupting their function, it made perfect sense. What makes this issue even more challenging is how sodium hides in unexpected places. A single serving of your supposedly healthy breakfast cereal can sneak in 300 milligrams of sodium. 2 slices of bread add another 300 milligrams. A sandwich with deli meat, which many of us consider a quick and easy lunch, can pack around 1,500 milligrams, more than half of the daily recommended sodium intake for seniors. And that's just the beginning. Healthy options, like cottage cheese or vegetable juice, can be sodium bombs in disguise. But perhaps the most concerning sources of sodium come from restaurant meals, which often contain your entire daily sodium allowance in just one entree. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Fast food is particularly problematic. A standard meal, a burger, fries, and a pickle, can contain more than 2,000 milligrams of sodium all in one sitting. For Robert, the biggest shock came when he realized that even some of his medications contributed to his sodium overload. "I never imagined that over-the-counter pain relievers and antacids could be loaded with sodium," he said. Even some prescription medications include sodium compounds as preservatives or fillers, further adding to the burden on his body. It's a harsh reality, but one that many seniors face without realizing it. Always check with your pharmacist about the sodium content of your medications, especially if you're managing heart or kidney conditions. The good news is that reducing your sodium intake can lead to rapid, noticeable improvements in leg strength and overall comfort. Within just 3 days of cutting back on high sodium foods, Robert noticed a significant reduction in swelling around his ankles. Within 2 weeks, his legs felt lighter, and climbing stairs, which had once been a struggle, became easier. After a month of consistent low-sodium eating, Robert could walk 3 blocks to his favorite coffee shop without feeling the fatigue and pain that had once limited his mobility. This transformation didn't take months of deprivation, just a few simple, mindful changes to his diet. So how can you reduce your sodium intake without sacrificing flavor? It all starts by focusing on fresh, whole foods whenever possible. Fresh meats contain significantly less sodium than their processed counterparts, like bacon, sausage, or deli meats. Opt for fresh or frozen vegetables without added sauces, which contain far less sodium than their canned versions. When cooking at home, experiment with fresh herbs, spices, citrus juices, and vinegar to add flavor without the need for salt. Italian herbs like basil, oregano, and thyme can completely transform a dish. Garlic, onions, and black pepper add depth and complexity that make salt seem unnecessary. Reading food labels is essential. Look for products labeled low sodium, 140 meters or less per serving, or reduced sodium, at least 25% less than the regular version. Convenience foods like canned soups, frozen meals, and prepackaged snacks are often loaded with sodium, so be particularly cautious with those. Robert found a practical approach that worked well for him. I started making big batches of homemade soup with no added salt on Sunday. I'd freeze portions for quick lunches throughout the week. It was easier than I expected, and the difference in how my legs felt was remarkable. When dining out, don't hesitate to ask for special requests. Many restaurants are happy to accommodate requests for no added salt or for sauces to be served on the side. Even fast food chains now offer lower sodium options, though you'll need to check their nutritional information carefully. Dr. Richard Coleman, a neurologist at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, observes many seniors see significant improvements in leg strength and reduction in fluid retention within just 7 to 10 days of reducing sodium intake. The body's fluid balance begins to normalize relatively quickly once the sodium overload is removed. Could hidden sodium be sabotaging your leg strength right now? Take a moment to consider your typical meals and snacks. Just like Robert, you might discover that making a few thoughtful changes to reduce sodium could help you maintain your mobility and independence for years to come. Now let's review the 3 hidden culprits that have been quietly destroying your leg strength. Processed foods filled with trans fats, refined sugars that trigger inflammation, and high sodium foods that cause fluid retention. By eliminating these harmful substances from your diet, you're not just protecting your legs, you're reclaiming your independence. And remember, you don't have to change everything overnight. Studies have shown that reducing these foods by even just 25% can improve leg strength by up to 30% in as little as 6 weeks. Small steps can lead to big changes. Your legs and your future will thank you. As we wrap up today's discussion, I hope you now have a deeper understanding of the hidden culprits that can weaken your leg strength and how simple changes in your diet can make a huge difference. From reducing processed foods and sugars to cutting back on hidden sodium, these small adjustments can have a powerful impact on your health and mobility. What has stood out to you the most? What's one thing you've learned today that you'll bring into your daily life moving forward? I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below with one key takeaway from this video that you're committed to practicing. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Your support helps us continue to bring you valuable tips and advice. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.